Hello and welcome to another episode of Bare Bones Wargaming, a show with no bells, no whistles, no frills, just a man, a camera, and his game. On this episode, we are about to hit the beach, the bloody beaches, from November the 20th, 1943. The beaches of Tarawa, 1943. We're from Worthington Games, recently landed on my doorstep just about a week ago, actually. I got this last Friday morning, I believe, is when it landed on my doorstep. This is a solitaire game where you, the player, take the role of the United States Marine Corps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And, of course, you try to attack the Japanese at Tarawa in 1943. Now, I'm about halfway through this game. You can tell that by if you look over here, the Japanese deck, it's about halfway done, give or take a little bit. Both sides start with 24 cards in their deck. The cards are very important to the game. From the Marine Corps side, your cards will give you things that you can do. They're called tactic cards. Like right now in front of me, I have the reinforcements card. And the Japanese cards are the ones that say what kind of actions that the Japanese take. Now again, the cool thing is that you have 30 cards technically, but you only use 24 in any given game, so every game is going to be a little bit different. And this is my 6th play of this sucker, and 6th play in about the last 48 hours. So notice this is addictive, among other things. So we'll get more into that as we go. Okay, pretty straightforward game. We'll go over each element as needed here. So let's just jump right in. The terms are basically pretty simple. You have a Marine Corps turn, and then you have a Japanese turn. At the beginning of the game, which of course I'm not showing because I'm about halfway through, you also have a landing phase where you see just how ugly things are going to be. This game actually was the best one so far for me in terms of landing. I didn't lose any men, any units from my battalions, which that's the first time that's happened. The other 5 games, one game, I got almost an entire battalion wiped out before they even got even close to the beach. That game was basically over before it started. But the good thing about this game is, if it ends pretty quick, it's very easy to reset. Okay? Alright, so let's get going. Alright, so first thing you do on the Marine turn is, if you have, and I do have, less than 3 cards, you can draw up to a hand of 3. You can only draw 2 cards maximum, even if you have no cards, which you usually won't have unless something happens that the Japanese do. Basically, with each turn you can play a card on the Marine Corps turn and 1 card on the Japanese turn. Of course, some cards are responses to Japanese activity. So let's see what I pull here for this turn. Okay, I pulled the 18th Marine Regiment. Now these are the guys that go in and eliminate Japanese bunkers. Bunkers in this game are brown blocks like this one you see here with the 3rd Battalion of the 6th Marine Regiment that are dug in here at Red Beach 1. Right now you can see none of the yellow blocks have that, so I don't really need that. Now, you can, if you do not play a card at all, you may discard one so you're ready for next turn to go ahead and fill your hand. However, be careful. Unlike other games, when this pile's gone, that's it. Hasta la vista, baby, because you don't get to reshuffle. Let me say that again. You don't get to reshuffle. So be careful how you manage your cards. Okay, card management is very important in this game, and there's lots of decisions to be made with that. Okay, all right. So each turn, after you draw your card, you can use a card to do something. Okay, that's basically counts as a free action. Each turn you get only 1 action that you can do with any one of your Marine battalions, either still trying to get on the beach. As you can see here, I've not secured Red Beach 1. There was a bunch of bunkers that popped up there. And you can see here I've managed to get this part of the island in good shape, but each battalion has 3 blocks, and you can see here and here I've already suffered some pretty nasty losses. Okay, of course that counts as victory points for the Japanese at the end. So you can play a card, and then you can take one of several actions that you can do. Very quickly, the actions are: you can place a new wave, get troops out here on the beach ready to roll in. You can regroup, which is helping the cohesion of your units. More about cohesion here in a minute. You can also rotate. So if you have 2 battalions, like here, the 2-8 and the 1-2, you could rotate them, send the 2-8 up, bring the 1-2 back. You can just plain old move, and you can also attack, which of course we'll get into most of those things here in a moment. But the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to play this recuperate card. Now the recuperate card, I'm going to play freely for the 2-8, which is here. They are exhausted, but you can always play a card with somebody. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and we're going to roll a die. Depending on the die roll, that's how much cohesion is going to come back. Cohesion is critical because in the game, cohesion can eventually lead to exhausted troops, and if it gets all the way to the bottom of the scale, can then eventually cause combat losses. Well, this is a good sign, I hope, for this video. I rolled a 6, and a 6, of course, is the best. I increased by 4 cohesion. So the 2-8, which the track is up here. You have a track for each of the battalions, for each of the regiments. That goes up by 4. And you can see here there's red, 1 through 5. 6 through 12 is white. 1 through 5 is where you could be exhausted. Could, because you would do an exhaustion check. More about that here in a minute. Once you get up here in the white, you're good to go until, of course, you go down to the red. So they picked up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Bingo. We are in the white. Excellent. All right. Now, I can choose my action, whatever it is that I would like to do at this point. I'm going to go ahead and I will activate, let's see, let's activate the 1-2 here. And let's see if we can finally blast our way into Red Beach 2. Okay, so every action will cost you cohesion. Cohesion, you drop down to 11, and you get to roll 5 dice as the Marines. So, as we roll these 5 combat dice, let's try to rouse up a little luck. Okay, so let's zoom in on Red Beach 2 there so you can see what's going on. Alright, so every Marine Corps attack involves rolling 5 dice. Basic situation here is high numbers are good and you're looking for doubles. Low numbers are bad, and 3s are automatic re-rolls. So if you see a 3, you get to roll it again. So let's re-roll these 2 3s and let's see what we come up with. Hopefully something good. Okay. Alright, now, once you roll your dice, you can keep any dice that you like. Obviously here I have a pair of 6s, so I'm definitely going to keep that pair of 6s. So we'll keep them down here. Any dice that you don't like, you can re-roll. You can re-roll as many times as you want, but every re-roll costs you a cohesion point. Okay? So again, it's like your troops are exerting themselves, like, one more push, boys, let's go! And eventually, they're going to get tired. They're going to reach the point of being exhausted. So I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this 5 too, because basically, quick overview is this. And this information is on the board. It's also on the back of the rule book, which, by the way, is a very nice rule book. It's laid out nicely with different colors for like examples of play, key concepts, some notes. I mean, it's a nicely done rule book. It's one of the nicer ones I've seen in a while. I've had a few questions about this game, which I posted on Board Game Geek, but generally speaking, they're more technical things. More that just need to be spelled out to the very last period, if you will. Okay? Excuse me, I'm still dealing with this cold my kid gave me, if you can buy that one. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to lower the 1-2 down to 10 cohesion, and we're going to re-roll those 2 dice. Come on, boys. It's a pair of 2s. That's no good. A pair of 2s will reduce my battalion's cohesion by 2, but I really would like to get that second hit to wipe out 2 of the Japanese blocks. So you know what? We're going to, just like in the 80s, press your luck. And again, you can do this as often as you want, but it costs you cohesion. Come on, baby. Big money, big money. Hey, we got a 5 and a 3. So again, I compare the 5. Now, I do have to re-roll the 3, although in this case it really won't matter a whole lot, because at this point, again, doubles are the big thing with the Marine roll. Now, I rolled a 4. Now, 4s are the big bugaboo. 4s are the ones that you want to keep away. Because 4s cannot be used at all. A 4 cannot even be re-rolled. As soon as the 4 shows up, it's out of play. So, like, for example, if you rolled your 5 dice and you rolled 3 4s, guess what? They're all out of play. You can only use 2 of the dice. All right? So this was pretty good. So we managed to eliminate 2 Japanese units at Red Beach 2. So not too bad. Now, the next thing you do, after you take your action, there are some cards in the deck, and we'll see if one manages to come out for this play. There are cards in the deck that do allow you, to take more than one action, but that's only by the card. Okay? So, next thing you do is you're going to check all your tracks up here for where the blocks are in the orange. And for each unit that's there, and check your units on the board that have a red square, if they're still in the orange, you're going to do an exhaustion check. But if they're in the white, you're going to remove the block. What I like to do is just go in order. So here we go. We got the 3-2, and their cohesion is at 2, so they're in pretty bad shape. Okay, and I rolled a 4. Now, if the number is higher than the cohesion, they're exhausted. If it's equal to or less than, you're okay. So the 3-2, which is way over here, Green Beach 2, they're whipped with a capital W. Okay? Now, the 1-6 is okay, because, see, they're still in the white. They're not on 5. The 3-6, on the other hand, their cohesion's down to 4. They rolled a 3, so they're okay. All right? And again, 2-8 is in the white. I don't have to roll for them. They're in good shape. All right, so there's the Marine turn. Let's see what the Japanese are up to. Oh, whew. Now, most of the cards, again, are pretty well clarified. One nice thing I do like about the game is it comes with this nice battle manual. And not only their designer notes and stuff, but, for example, if you're looking at the card and when you're first starting to learn the game, you're like, man, Fields of Fire. So what does that mean? Well, here you go. You can get basically a little more detail than the text on the card. There's an example that shows you how to do it, and the design part about it too. Okay, so this is very cool. This battle manual has answered a lot of my questions about cards. All right, so the Japanese, you just basically read the stuff. Each U.S. Marine Corps position that has 2 adjacent to 2 or more Japanese are going to be fire attacked by those positions. All right, boys, here we go. So we're going to look at all the positions and see what positions have 2 or more. Now, each position that's adjacent to each other has these brown arrows that go through. So, like, position 8 is adjacent to Red Beach 3. Okay? So, that's one spot. We also have, it's a little hard to see here, we also have the airfield. That's 2. We also have Red Beach 3. So, Red Beach 2. So, Red Beach 3 is going to be fired on from all 3 of these positions. Okay? Red Beach 1, on the other hand, is only adjacent to Red Beach 2, so they're going to be fine. Same thing with Green Beach. They're only adjacent to Black Beach, so that's only 1. The card says 2 or more. So, good news, bad news. Good news is 2 of those positions are fine. The bad news is the 1-6 is about to take a beating. By the way, if you're wondering, why are these 2 blank? This is from the reinforcement card. You can reinforce a battalion, and basically, because of the chaos of the day, this was legal, for lack of a better way to put it. You put these guys face down. They're the first ones to be eliminated, and they're basically absorbed into the battalion that they are now assigned to. Okay? So that's why that looks like that. All right. Fire attacks. You roll 3 dice. And when you do attacks, you go from lowest priority. So, over here, we have East 1 is an 8. The airfield is a 4. Red Beach 2 is, well, a 2. So we're going to attack from here first, then here, then here. So hold on to your butts. Let's see what happens. Okay? All right. And of course, if you had a situation where this didn't exist, then you wouldn't do it. Okay? It just, the conditions don't exist, you don't do it. So, position number 8, here we go. They'll open fire first. Whew, okay. All right. So, position number 8. Good news, bad news. And let's zoom in on here. We'll zoom in on this part of the board here a little bit so you can see what's going on. I'll move this over a tiny bit. All right. Bad news. 6s are bad news. 6s will cause you the loss of a marker. So, there's a 6. Good news. When it comes to fire, 2s cancel 6s. Yay! And we have another 2, so basically that means that East Position 1 did exactly 2 things to our Marines there, jack and shit. So, good job. Alright, now we'll have the airfield strike. So here comes the airfield down here, which, by the way, the airfield is one of the linchpin positions, and I'm not a very good tactician, I freely admit it. Games like this are difficult for me. I've never been a very good tactician, but I enjoy it. Clearly I enjoy it. This is the 6th time I've played it in 48 hours. Alright, so let's see what the airfield does. Airfield opening up. Yay. Whew, I should have kept my big bazoo shut, as Martin Crane would say. Holy smoke. The airfield just butchered our guys. Now, there are some cards that can help you absorb some of these hits, but man, I just lost 2 of my guys on Red Beach 3 from the airfield. So these 2, again, they're face down. They'll be gone first. And for those of you who are wondering, I've got a boatload of casualties already. So, yeah, this situation is mounting very rapidly. Whoa! Doggone red dice. Slipping all over the place. Worst part is, it ain't even over yet. We still have Red Beach 2 that can attack. So we got one more. We got to weather this one more time. Come on, 1-6. Okay, good news, bad news this time. Good news, we won't lose any markers. Bad news is 5s and 4 cause cohesion loss. So we got to go up here to the 1-6 and we got to drop them down to 4. Now 4 is an orange number. Anytime that a Japanese attack causes that to happen, you must do an immediate exhaustion check. So we're looking to try and roll 4 or less. We rolled a 1, so good, they're not exhausted. Now why is that such a big deal? Because exhausted units can only rotate and regroup. If they're not exhausted, even if their cohesion is like at 2, you can still attack with them. Now, of course, that's risky business, but you can do it if you want to. Okay, so that's why exhaustion is such a big deal. All right, so those guys got hammered with a capital H. Ouch. All right, and that's the Japanese turn. All right, I only have 2 cards. I get to draw 1. Oh, I got another one of those 18th Marine regiments, but I don't have any bunkers. And I really don't want to do any reinforcements right now. So you know what? I'm just going to discard this 18th Marine Regiment so I can try to get a new card. And for my action this turn, even though these guys are a little precarious, I'm going to take the 1-2 and I'm going to try and clear Red Beach 2 finally with a capital F. Okay? Because again, we're about, well, let's see. The Japanese cards, each one played is a turn. So how many turns have I played? Let's see. I'm 14 turns in, so more than halfway through the game, and I still haven't been able to get my way up on Red Beach 2. That's sad. Okay, so the 1-2 will drop down on the cohesion level. We'll roll the 5 dice again, so here we go. Okay, not too bad on the first 3. A 6, a 3, and a 2. Pretty, whoops, wrong Marines. Pretty good. Let's see what the other 2 are going to be like. I never like to roll all the dice at once. That's just my preference. Bugger. Okay, remember the 4 is out of play. I cannot re-roll it. 3s are automatically re-rolled. Come on, big money. I just need another... Okay. So, clearly I will keep the 6, and we'll take the 2 1s and the 2. We'll slide down the cohesion 1 more level, and we'll re-roll 3 dice. Come on, big money, big money. No whammies. Okay. Not bad. I got my mission objective. There's the 6. The 4 would have been out of play. The 5 would have been there. But, of course, at this point, there's no way to match them up. Remember, the Marines are all about doubles. Okay? So, I do have 2 6s. The Japanese unit is eliminated. Awesome! Now, when you advance, when the enemy is eliminated, it doesn't cost you cohesion. And if there's a unit behind, like the 2 8s back here, you can go ahead and do one quote-unquote daisy chain and move up into position there. Alright, cool. Now we're going to check exhaustion. Okay? So again, the 3-2, they were already exhausted. Let's see if they're still exhausted. Ah, yeah. Alright, the 1-6. They're good. They rolled a 3. And last but not least, the 3-6. They rolled a 2. So they're in good shape too. Alright, not too bad. Okay. If you're wondering about this card over here, and I'm obviously not using these. This card is here, and there's a marker up here for it, because certain things will cause the Japanese to have impacts on Japanese attacks. There's two types of Japanese attacks. We haven't seen the other one yet, but hopefully we will here soon. There's the fire attacks, which you've seen lots of so far, and the Banzai attacks. Okay, this is Admiral Shibazaki, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He got killed, so that reduces the Banzai attack effectiveness when he's wiped out. So that's where that card's laying there, just to remind me. Okay, here we go, a fire attack. Okay, so we're going to launch one fire attack against the highest priority U.S. Marine occupied position. Okay, Red Beach 1 will be highest priority, but they can't get to it. Red Beach 2 comes next, so they're going to go ahead and fire on my 1-2 boys that just took the beach, finally. Whew, that's brutal. They rolled 2 5s and a 6. So the 6 is going to wipe out one of my guys. The 2 5s will reduce the cohesion down and drop it to 5. Now remember, as soon as it drops into the orange there, then you got to do immediate exhaustion check. Oh, it's a 6, which is the only number, of course, higher than a 5. So now these guys are exhausted. Well, that just sucks. All right. By the way, if you haven't figured out for yourself already, this is a very unforgiving game. But that's cool. I have no problem with that. Okay, now they're going to do an attack also against the battalion that has the lowest cohesion. Well, right now that would be the 3-2, okay, over here on Green Beach. Now, technically, let's say the 1-2 also had the lowest cohesion, they would get another fire attack. Yeah, so it's just awful. I mean, and again, much like Tarawa itself, it's just awful. But they don't have the lowest cohesion. The 3-2 has the lowest cohesion. 3rd Battalion of the 2nd Marine Regiment. So let's see what happens to them. Okay, got a pair of 2s, which is good, and we have a 3. Now the nice thing is, even though we have to re-roll a 3, we got 2 2s. Remember, 2 cancels 6s. So, you're not going to lose anybody up, and it is a 6. So, as Eartha Kitt would say, perfect. No worries. Okay? And again, you just follow all the directions. Excuse me. And that's that. And each of the cards also tells you when you can play it, which basically the Japanese is always during Japanese turn. And then, of course, you have a little background here, too, as well. But the cards are nicely written, especially the directions. Notice they're a bigger font. So I like that. And especially, you know, us wargamers. I count myself, since we're starting to get a little gray at the temples. Okay, maybe more than a little gray. Yeah. Okay, back to my Marines. Okay, dug in. So let's see, I could dig somebody in if I wanted to. Which, of course, is what that basically means. I already got the 3-6 dug in. I don't know about digging into 1-6, though. The only thing about digging in is whenever you leave, you lose it. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So... I really want to clear that airfield. So what I'm going to do is, I am going to dig in the 1-6 so I can get another card in my hand. So I'll put a brown cube on the 1-6 here. And then for my turn, I'm going to rotate. I'm going to pull these exhausted Marines back, and we'll bring in the rested, relatively rested, 2-8 Marines to the forefront there. Again, we got exhaustion checks. So the 3-2, still exhausted, shocker. The 1-2, oh, we should have done the 1-2 first. So actually, they're okay. They passed their check. They would have been 3 out of the 5. The 3-2, so now, oh, they actually rolled a 1. So they're not exhausted anymore. Which means, again, even though their cohesion is 2, I can go ahead if they're, like, pissed. They could be like, you know what, screw this, man. Let's just wipe these buggers out. Okay? The 1-6 Battalion is still exhausted. They rolled a 3. They passed. And then, of course, the 3-6 also dug in. They passed too. Okay. So, at least my guys are passing their exhaustion checks, even though we're in bad shape here again. Okay. Oh, this is a good card for us. Communication destroyed. So we're going to place a communication destroyed, a block on the red block on the communication destroyed marker. This is good because this will reduce Banzai attacks. Now, Banzai attacks begin the game with 5 dice, and they are brutal. But after Shibazaki and communication destroyed, they can only roll 3. Okay, and that's the Japanese turn. So this is cool. That actually is a little bit of a breather for us. Okay, I'm getting a little thin on my deck here though, but I got to keep going. Okay, 2nd Tank Battalion. Now, the 2nd Tank Battalion is helpful. You know what? Let's activate the 2-8. So, let's see. The 2nd Battalion and the 8th. And we're going to play the Tank Battalion. The Tank Battalion allows me to adjust any die that's rolled to any facing I want, except for 4s. 4s cannot be fixed, so to speak. Here we go. Alright, so we got a 5, a 2, and a 1. Bada bing, bada boom. Which means I can take one of those dice if I want and change it to a 5 facing. But maybe I won't, because I just got a 5. Now I have to re-roll 3. 3s are always re-rolled whether you like it or not. So even if you get, let's say, 2 5s and 2 6s, you still have to roll that last one. Okay? Or if, let's say, that you have a 4, 2 5s, and a 1, you still have to roll it again to see if you get double 1s, because double 1s are, yeah, you have to remove a marker from your battalion. That's basically what that does. Alright, so let's re-roll that 3, which turned out to be a 6. Now if a 6 turned out to be in mine, I don't mind. Sorry, my Hendrix moment there. So I'm going to use the 2nd Battalion, and I'm going to change the facing on the 2 die to, ta-da, a 6. Awesome. We inflicted 2 points of damage. Bam, bam, boom, baby. And that's that. So not too shabby. Okay? Pretty good. Again, exhaustion text here. The 1, 2. They're fine. The 3, 2. Yeah, they're whipped again. Yeah, nothing I can do about that. I mean, you know. Yeah. 1, 6. They're whipped. And then last but not least, my 3, 6. They're good. Okay. Alright, not too bad. So airfield's slowly being cleared here, but it's late in the game. Alright, here's another fire attack. Alright. High priority U.S. Marine position. That would be Red Beach 2. So they're going to fire from the airfield. Now, if we get lucky, this might actually turn out to be a pretty good thing for us. Let's see what the dice do first. Here we go. So we're rolling 3 dice. It's a fire attack. Fire attacks are always 3 dice. Well, good news, bad news. This is not good. Now, we do have this 3. If we can roll this 3, re-roll the 3, and turn it into a 2, Shazam! Ah, it's another 3. Okay, here we go. Come on. Ah, the tension. The tension. The tension. Ah! Mother puss bucket. It's a 6. And I don't have a card to absorb the blow. Fudge, as Ralphie says in A Christmas Story. So the 2-8 took 2 hits. Ah! And they also had their cohesion reduced. And again, since it was reduced to an orange box, you gotta do an exhaustion check. They're okay. Ah! Curses. Ain't over yet either. Now we have to attack the battalion with the lowest cohesion. Well, the lowest cohesion is still the 3-2. So from Black Beach 1, they're going to hit Green Beach. Oh, son of a... Look at that. 3 2s. Mother... Okay. Yeah, I know. You probably can tell I'm being a little rowdy tonight. Yeah, I'm being a little rowdy. I'm not sure why. It's been a rowdy week. Let's put it that way. Okay. Well, that was painful because all those markers cost you victory points at the end. And quite frankly, if you don't clear the island fast enough, which clearly I'm not, then you're going to be screwed. So anyhow, on to the next turn. Alright, I got heroism. I could have used that a minute ago. That basically negates a loss. Should I just take the 2-8? No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this reinforcement card first. And I'm going to move these 2 guys from the 1-2. I'll bring them up to the 2-8. So the 1-2 will cease to exist. And the 2-8 will increase its cohesion by 2. And now I'm attacking the airfield again. Alright, you buggers. Bugger, 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 bugger. Mother! Ugh. Lady Luck has deserted me. Whew, Lady Luck has really deserted me. I will get a chance to re-roll the 3. My kid was helping me. earlier tonight, my 6-year-old, he was down. He's the official dice roller. He loves to come and roll dice for me, and he's so cute when he does stuff. But he was having a blast. I don't think he's going to be a war gamer. He doesn't really seem to have an interest in games at all. But hey, you know, whatever. Although I do have a war game connection with him. My little man is a builder, and he loves to build roads. Well, that's a little tricky to come by, you know, especially if you want to be flexible with building roads. So what I discovered was they have these road pieces for miniature gaming, which I didn't know existed, which look very flexible, very cool. So I might be getting him some of those for Christmas to help him build his roads. So he's a builder. Maybe he'll be an engineer. Who knows? Anyway, sorry, I digress. This is ridiculous. So I'm going to re-roll these 4 dice, obviously. The 2-8 is going to take another cohesion hit. And I'm on the border of being whipped with a capital W, but I have no choice. I want the airfield. Well, to quote men at work, I can't get to sleep. I think about the implications. A little overkill now. I only needed 1 hit, and now I've got 2. So the airfield is cleared. So we will advance. Now I can't daisy chain because, of course, I have nobody behind me. Although I do have 1 battalion. This is one of my weaknesses with the game. I got to figure out a better way to organize things to get these. You start with a bunch of battalions on the game board, and you only have 2 left in reserve. Now, I brought 1 in over here on Green Beach once I got Red Beach secured, but the other one is still sitting off the board. I gotta do a better job with that. That's all there is to that. All right, exhaustion check time. 3-2. Oh, they passed, so good. They're not exhausted anymore. 1-6. Not exhausted either. Huh. 3-6. Nah, they're exhausted. You're always exhausted with a 6. Okay, let's see what the Japanese are up to. Alright. Oh, here we go. A Banzai attack. Alright, so here come the Japanese. Alright, now, Banzai attack's a little bit different, especially with the dice. So, first of all, we have to see, do we control 1 or 2 island positions? Oh, yeah. Okay, so they're going to Banzai attack those 2 positions that are adjacent to Japanese occupied, and of course we always go from lowest priority. Okay, so Red Beach 1 would be first priority, but it doesn't matter. Red Beach 2, which we have cleared, which where are they? I'm gonna find them. Here we go. When the beach is empty, and I know the Marines have it, I like to put that die down. Yeah. Actually, maybe I should use those dice. I hadn't thought about that. I could use those dice, and I have Japanese dice too. Yeah. See, look at that. I should be using these, huh? Yeah. Maybe next time. I keep forgetting those. I usually use them for grand strategy games, not for tactical games. Okay. Red Beach 3 can be attacked from East 8. So we'll start with that one there. Alright, so here we go. Now, usually it'd be 5 dice, but because we have communication destroyed and Shibazaki killed, it's all 3 Banzai! Okay, whoo! Well, that was interesting. Now, Banzai attack, of course, the 5 is rough, because it's going to reduce 1/6's cohesion, and Lord knows the 1/6 cannot handle too much more cohesion. Okay, so they will go down, and again, an immediate exhaustion check on them, which now we need 3 or less. Got a 4, so guess what? They're exhausted in their bunkers, hunkered down. However, the good news for us is, if I can find a way to make this quickly work, I gotta find a way to see if I can exploit this rapidly. The 1s remove an attacking Japanese marker. Now, the bad news is there's only 1 at East 1 space number 8, so I can only get rid of the 1. But now that space is empty. Cool. All right. Now, the second Banzai attack, let's see, the airfield would be next from the lowest priority, which would be Black Beach 2, which is marked with a 7. So here come the Japanese again. So again, Banzai attacks can be a double-edged sword. They can be very, very nasty. Whew, okay. So a 6, a 1, and a 4 against the airfield from Black Beach 2. Okay, and again, the arrows are how you figure out who's adjacent to who. Okay. All right, so the 4 is going to reduce 2/8 cohesion down to 5. Now the 6 would eliminate a block, but I have this heroism card. So I'm going to play it so I don't have to do the 6. The 1, of course, remember, will eliminate a Japanese block. So not too shabby overall there, although the 2/8 now must make an exhaustion check because, of course, they've dropped down to the orange. It's a 2, so they're good to go. All right, and that's it. Now, if there hadn't been the Banzai attacks, let's say the U.S. wasn't on the island yet, this was drawn early, then you would do 2 fire attacks, which will be out into the water, so to speak. All right, I get to draw 2 cards this time. It's my last 2 cards. Oh, good news is I got command coordination out of it. Okay. So I could activate up to 3 units right now with command coordination. So I could do a couple of things here because we're almost out of turns. I could go ahead and do a bunch of regrouping, bring all my guys that are exhausted back up to full strength, and then launch attacks repeatedly here. I could also use it to bring that 1 wave on, maybe over here at Red Beach 3, and then try to be prepared for next turn and try to move up the island to grab E8, space 8, East 1 over here. Could do that. Japanese only have 3 positions left, but I have to grab all 9. And then, of course, if once the U.S. Marines grab all 9 positions, you get victory points for each position, and you count the number of cards left in the Japanese deck. That gives you your victory points, and then you total it against the number of losses, which let me just show you here right now. So as you can see, I'm probably screwed. I mean, each of those is worth 2 or 3 points. I think 2. So yeah, I'm probably screwed here. Which again, I'm getting screwed all the time. That didn't come out right. But anyway, it's addicting and it's a fun game. So even though I'm getting my dupa handed to me, I'm still enjoying myself. Okay, so the 280 is not exhausted, so I could attack with them. I can attack with the 3-2 if I want to. I can also bring the 2-2s on. Okay. You know what? Let me do this. Let me bring these guys on to here. I'll make that my 1 action. I'll check my exhausted guys. 3-2 is now exhausted, so that's not good. 1-6. Also still... Oh no, 1-6 actually passed, so they're not exhausted anymore. Good. And then, let's see, who else? 3-6. Exhausted. 2-8 is new. They're good. Okay, so not so much exhaustion. Alright, back to the Japanese. Sniper card. Ouch. Alright, here we go. Basically, sniper card's pretty straightforward. You roll a die. Attacking the highest priority occupied position. So that, of course, would be Red Beach 1. And then just follow the directions. We rolled a 3. A 3 causes 1 loss of cohesion on the 3-6. So the 3-6 can handle it, but again, any loss, exhaustion check. And they're still exhausted. There's a Sharker. Okay. So that's that. Alright. Now I could try this. I mean, that'd be a little risky, but I could try this. I could go ahead and move 1-6 to here and bring 2-2 onto here. I am allowed to daisy chain like that if I want. Or I could do command coordination though too, and try to get some folks ready to roll and try some attacks and still move 1-6. Yeah, you know what? Let's do the command coordination. We'll do 3 actions here. So for first action, we'll move 1-6. Now we unfortunately lose the bunkers, but we've secured that position, and we'll daisy chain. That's a move action, so that's 1. I'm going to take the 2-8 who are not exhausted, and we're going to try and attack Black Beach 2. That'll be my second action. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my third one just yet, so let's see. Alright, let's see what 2-8 can do. Kind of a mixed bag. A 6, 2, and a... Well, it's a 5, actually. I thought it was a 4. I know that die can be a little annoying. Ooh, look at this. But I like it. It just looks cool. So let me just make sure that's the number of pips that are there at 5. Awesome. So notice I got 2 doubles, 2 6s, 2 5s. So bam, Black Beach 2 is wiped out. And oh, I forgot to reduce 2A's cohesion down. And there we go. And the airfield is still mine. Mine, mine, mine. So I will mark it as having control. Alright, and I don't need to re-roll anything, so that was awesome. So that was my second. I have 1 more I can do. Because the command one basically lets you take 2 extra actions, and you already get 1. Maybe I should have waited on the 3-2. Black Beach is still sitting over there being a pain in my dupa. You know what? For my last one, I'm going to take 3-2. And we'll go 1, 2, 3. And we'll try to get them in better shape. Alright, exhaustion checks. 3-2. They're in good shape. Good. We can attack with them. Let's see. 1-6. Who's up there all by themselves now. But I mean, hey, I got to get people out there. Of course, next turn, what I'm going to do is, if I can get them to survive, I'm going to rotate these 2 around and get the 2-2 up there to start coming in and fighting. Oh, I forgot to put the 2-2's block on. Sorry about that. There we go. Alright. Excuse me. So 1-6 is exhausted. 3-6 is okay. And then the 2-8, which just did all that activity. They're good too. Alright, awesome. Alright, let's see what the Japanese do, because we're almost out of cards. So I might just run this to the end. Ah, fire attack. Okay, highest priority, occupied position. Well, let's see. That would be Green Beach, because the highest priority would be 5. That's adjacent to a Japanese position, so they will attack from Black Beach 1. Alright, here we go. Here's a chatter of machine guns. Alright, we'll have to re-roll the 3. Let's hope it's a 1, because that would wipe out a block. Big money, big money. Oh, it's a 3 again. The tension builds. Ah! Shoot, I should have kept my mouth shut. Alright, so the 3-2 takes a loss. Ugh. They also take a cohesion loss. So where are they? 3-2. And that's it. So I got to check them for exhaustion. They're okay. Okay. And then against the battalion with the lowest cohesion, which was probably going to be 3. No, actually, it'll be 1-6, won't it? Let's see. 1-6 is on a 3. Yeah, 1-6 is going to be the one that's going to take the attack from 9 over here. Because they have the lowest cohesion. Well, so does the 3-6, but the 3-6 can't be attacked. There's no lines. Okay, so 1-6 it is. Alright, let's see what the Japanese can do. I don't have any way of mitigating this. Okay. Well, it's 2 4s and a 1. Whoo! So they're all the way down to 1. Now, if they had rolled another cohesion loss, once you reach 1 on the track, then you have to eliminate a marker. So I would have lost that. But, fortunately, they did not. Okay. I got to check, because we're exhausted, so only a 1 will keep us like this. Yeah, they're still exhausted. It doesn't matter. Okay. And that's it. Yep. Alright. So, what I'm going to do with my action here is what I had planned to do. I'm going to rotate out this exhausted 1-6, bring the 2-2 up here so I can attack position number 9. And that's it. That's my turn. And the 2-2 will reduce themselves by 1. Checking exhaustion again. 3-2. They're exhausted. Okay. 1-6 is... I can't imagine they won't be exhausted. They're exhausted. 3-6. Exhausted but dug in, so it doesn't matter. And then the 2-8. Ouch, they're exhausted now too, so I won't be able to use them next turn. Okay. Alright. Okay, almost down to the end here. Fields of fire by the Japanese again. Each position adjacent to 2 or more. Well, now this one is going to be okay because the Japanese only have 2 positions left, so there's nothing adjacent to those. And it says ignore if there's no applicable position. So there's no position adjacent to 2 or more Japanese occupied positions. All right, back to us. Okay, so I'm going to activate the 2-2 over here for an attack. That'll be my action here. So let's see if they can get lucky here. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? Well, let's see. They got 2 3s, so those will be re-rolled, and there's a 2. Give me 6. Oh, 6 and 5. Awesome! Alright, come on, come on. Come on. Show me the pips! Ooh, there's a 5. Now I got double 5s. The other one was a 3. Ah, it's a 1. But you know what? I'm going to re-roll. I could have re-rolled that 2. Well, actually, no, I haven't gotten that far yet. Okay, so I'm going to press my luck with these guys and try to get another 6. Yes! Sweet! So, 2 6s, 2 5s. Bye-bye, IJA. These guys will move into position, and I will mark. I control the other one here. Hang on. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so that means, holy cow, you might be about to see on camera what I haven't been unable to accomplish in the previous 5 games. I now have a chance, but I gotta get those guys built up. Okay, here we go. Not too many Japanese cards left either. All right, let's check exhaustion. 3-2. Okay, they're not exhausted anymore, so they could attack next turn. 1-6. Of course, they're exhausted. I mean, come on, let's be honest here. 3-6. It doesn't really matter because they're exhausted. 2. Oh, they're no longer exhausted. They rolled a 1. Okay. And then the 2-8. Shoot, I rolled a 5. Okay. Alright, let's see what the Japanese do. The 3-2 could attack, given the opportunity. Prepared defenses. Ah, come on! It's a conspiracy. Add a bunker to highest priority. Well, there's only 1 left, so that kind of makes it easy. 1 stubborn Japanese position holding out. Mother! Yeah, I'm doing a lot of mother stuff, huh? Fire attack from the lowest adjacent Japanese position, lowest priority. So they would be firing on the highest priority, which is Green Beach 5. So here we go. I better hope for some snake eyes to get rid of that bunker. Well, actually it wouldn't. It would just remove a block. Bunkers are defensive. Well, good news, bad news. I rolled a 4, so the 3-2, unfortunately, will go down. We have to check their morale here, in this, or their exhaustion. I have a tendency to call for morale, I don't know why. But I rolled a 6 and I rolled a 2. And I rolled a 2 for exhaustion, so they are not exhausted. Alright. Alright. What do I do? Dynamic command. I can swap positions with 2 units, but I don't have any way of doing that right now. There's no point. It's a free move, but it won't really do me any good because 3-6 is no better off than 3-2, really. Yeah. Alright, let's just attack with 3-2 and hope we get lucky. Here we go. 3 2s attacking, which is taking their cohesion down to almost nothing. Well, they got 2 5s. That's a good start. 2 6s would also be helpful. Or some more 5s. Shoot. I rolled a 4. Alright. I'm gonna chance it because at this point, I mean, I'm probably gonna do something anyway. But let's see. Okay, dang it, I rolled another 4, but I did roll a 3. So the 4s, remember, always automatically out of play with is, yeah, okay, shoot. I got rid of the bunker, but that's the best I could do. Ah! Curses! Ow! Don't! Stupid! Stupid, stupid, stupid. Always look at your card before you start doing... I could have used this and removed the bunker. Crap. That's part of the problem playing solitaire, even playing sometimes, at least with me, I find this in my experience, is sometimes I just get so into the game that I forget to do things. Okay, so I'm just going to check, to be honest, just to make this go faster. I'm just going to check the exhaustion of the 3-2 and the 2-8 because they're the only ones that matter right now. The other guys are, you know, they're behind the lines. They're whipped, but they can't do anything. 3-2's exhausted. Crackers. Come on, 2-8. Big money. Ah, they're exhausted too. Shoot. So I'm not going to take that last position. Ah, I cannot believe I forgot to play the 18th. Because basically, here's the last Japanese card. Infiltration. Oh, goody. Highest priority control position, which has less than 3 markers. That would be Red Beach 1. So you take one of these and bring them here. And now the Japanese control that mother. Well, I could attack with a 3-6, I guess, and try to destroy that. Because that would give the Japanese some more victory points. Okay, the 3-6, yeah, they're not exhausted. I forgot to check them. We're going to have to check them. So I guess you should check everybody. Let me quickly check 3-6. Come on, man. Shoot, never mind. They're exhausted. Of course they're exhausted. This is depressing. Alright, I do have one last Marine action I could do, but it doesn't matter. Alright, so let's total up the victory points. You ready for the carnage? Here we go. So how do we score victory points? Which, by the way, just so you know, I haven't used them because this kind of stuff doesn't interest me. I'm sorry. They have this nice little tablet. It's double-sided pages, I think. Yeah, to calculate your victory points. I just don't particularly care to do that. So here we go. Alright, so what kind of victory points did the Marines get? Well, we got 2 for each position controlled. At least this is a bit of a moral victory for me because I've never gotten all the way over here. But I'm still ticked about this. And the airfield has always been a hard nut for me to crack too. Maybe I am finally learning. Maybe I'll try this one more time. But I want to go back to, you know, where did it go? Somewhere around here. Horse and Musket. I want to go back to that because I've been reading Frederick the Great a lot lately. I'm reading Duffy's book right now. And I got Showalter's book too because I'm just... When I get off on a run on things... But for those of you members of Board Game Geek, the Military History Bookshelf thread, if you paid attention to that earlier this fall, I just was running through the Alexander the Great books. I've done like 4 books about him in a row. So, anywho. So I get 2 per position controlled. So 7 times 2 is 14. That is the best I've been able to do. I get 1 for every Japanese card remaining. Okay. The Japanese, oh no. They get 2 for every marker eliminated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 times 2 is 28. They get 1 for each exhausted battalion. So 29, 30, 31, 32. They get 32 points there. And they get 3 for every controlled position. So that's 38. 38 minus 14 is a boatload of points. What is that? Math was never my strong point. 38 minus 14. 8 minus 4 is 4. 24. Well, actually it's not the worst score I had. I've had worse scores in my previous 5 plays. Margin of victory, let's see. If the Japanese tie or exceed the Marine Corps VP, which clearly they did, it's a Japanese win. catastrophic defeat. Second Division's out of action for 2 years. It's rebuilt. Island hopping strategy is abandoned, and MacArthur's slower strategy is adopted, which means, of course, the Japanese will have more chance to do what they were hoping to do, which was bleed us to death. If you manage to get positive victory points, which I have not done yet, then it depends. 1 to 5, marginal, which is historical. 6 to 9, moderate, and 10 plus is a smashing victory, which lets you end the war 6 months earlier. A couple other things real quick before we sign off with this ignominious episode. There are optional rules. You can add extra Japanese card to the deck, buy yourself some more time. There's also the optional landing beaches here where the Japanese thought we were going to land, which they had actually prepared defenses, I believe, better there. So yeah, so 6 plays, and I lost again. Frederick's calling. But I almost want to, as soon as I get this camera turned off, I almost want to go back and reset this. This is really easy to reset, by the way. You can do the historical thing, but you just have to deploy battalions here, hold 2 in reserve, put down the Japanese. There's stickers for the Japanese markers. They're in the box. But they don't matter, because as you notice from this, there's no combat factors and stuff. So I just left them alone. You know, why bother? I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I don't care. You know, for me, it's just, let's see, time stickering blocks that don't really change anything, or time planning. Tough one, but I think I have to go with option 2. So, but it's really quick. You just set the blocks up, shuffle the cards, take 6 cards out of the deck, however you want, really, and you have the other 24, and you're off and running. Boom. It is. Obviously, it's a bucket of dice game, but it's very addictive. It's very quick. I am enjoying this a lot. It's very different, obviously, for those of you on D-Day at Omaha Beach, or not Omaha Beach, D-Day at Tarawa, which I own, which I've enjoyed. Of all the D-Day games, that has been my favorite. And when I saw this on Kickstarter, I watched the video because, you know, if you're a subscriber to my channel, and, you know, I'm honest about things. I've been wary of Worthington games unless they've been, like, republish, you know, ones. Reissue. There we go. That's the word I wanted. But when I saw the video, I thought, well, this looks interesting because this could be a simpler one. And if they do enough sales, and if it actually is good, then, you know, you could do Iwo Jima 1945. You know, Saipan 1944, I believe. Anyway, this system would transfer to any one of those. So actually, to be honest, I am glad I bought this. It's a nice lighter game whenever I do want to do like some kind of island invasion in the Pacific. This is the game that I would get out if I want to get more detailed and get a little more nitty gritty, more realistic than I have D-Day at Tarawa. But I've already said, and this might be a little premature, but I've already said on Board Game Geek, I started a thread with the headline of, is it too early to, or I think I said just what is it too early to, you know, speculate about an Iwo Jima game using this system? Because that would be cool. Or even Pleiku, is that how you pronounce that one? I'm not always good with my pronunciations, I admit. So, but, you know, whatever. I don't deliberately try to do anything, but some days are better than others. Anyhow, excuse me. How much am I enjoying this game? Well, like I said, this is the 6th play in 48 hours. And also, I'm getting ready, for those of you who are subscribers and you like my channel, get ready next Sunday. Hopefully Sunday, I will publish my 10 best and 10 worst new to me games for 2021. I have about 25 to 30 new games this year. And this game has been so enjoyable, I think it's going to knock one of the other ones off the top 10 list. I have it narrowed down to a couple of contenders, so to speak, that when I look at the list I already have of the 10 best of the year, I'm like, you know what? Tarawa 1943 is better than this game. It's better than this game. But then the question was, who do I give the boot to? We'll just wait and see. Anyhow, there you go. We basically showed all aspects of the game that I can really think of. I don't think there's anything I didn't do. So if you're looking for a simple island invasion game for the Pacific Theater, this is it. And I guess, to be honest, if you were well versed in the Pacific Theater, you probably could easily make a map with positions. You could probably make your own Iwo Jima or Saipan if you wanted to, fan made. It would be a lot of work with the cards and stuff, but hopefully, like I said, hopefully this will sell well enough and be received well enough that Worthington will be interested in making some other ones. Because quite frankly, if they make any other ones, like Iwo Jima or Saipan or whatever, or even some of the other smaller islands, maybe put it together as a package, I would buy it. I'll say that. And I guess that's the highest endorsement you can give to any game or any system is like, dude, if they made another game using this exact same system, cha-ching, take my money. I will show you the money. Okay, so there you go. The ignominious finish of my 6th play of Tarawa 1943 from Worthington Games. Also comes with a nice tray, by the way, too. If you saw my unboxing video, it does come with a very nice tray. Alright, so next time, more than likely, because I probably won't do, because the 19th is right around the corner, right? 10 days from now. Next time I'll do See You Guys, will probably be that video, quite frankly. I don't think there'll be anything else in between. Maybe. You never know what I might do. It's hard to tell. With whatever spare moments I can find, right? And my big one's turning 6 tomorrow. So, he'll be 6. The little guy's 3. He's becoming more mobile, and it's fun. It's really great. It's really great, actually. I know this has nothing to do with war games, but it's really great to see them playing together, more and more. And, see Alexander teaching Nicholas things so he can learn to play with his big brother. So that's awesome. Warms Daddy's heart. Any hoot. Obviously, as they get bigger, there'll be more time. I'm going to have to cede some territory down here, but it's worth it. It is definitely worth it. They are my little buggers. There they are. That's a picture frame thing that my wife had made for my dad, and we basically have cleaned my dad's house out at this point. Those of you who are regular subscribers, my dad passed away earlier this year, and I brought back some of the things that there's butterflies on either side. Those are things I bought for my mom, and those are my boys. So I always like the kid. We had the last 5 czars of Russia covered with our 2 guys with their names. Anyhow, okay, enough rambling. There you go. Tarawa 1943. Check it out if you like the Pacific Theater. I think I like it. Like I said, it's going to make the top 10 list. I just got to figure out who's going to bump. So, shh, spoiler alert. Alright, next time should be the 10 worst, 10 best. Well, it's more going to be like 7 worst because we'll get into that later. Anyhow, as always, this is Tim Korsnoy from Bare Bones Wargaming saying thanks for watching, and I will see you. Whoa. Well, that was interesting. I just dumped a bunch of dice in case you didn't figure that out for yourself. I will see you again next time with more than likely my best and worst for the year. As always, thanks for watching.